Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time this video finds you. Hopefully it's a blessing to you in some way, shape, or form. I was having devotion today again. The time now is 2:45, but you already know it, 2:22, for those of you who know. Anyway, I was reading, I opened the Word today, and the first verse that I came across was Luke chapter 8 verse 24, because I already had it underlined. It says, "Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm." Now I'm gonna start from the top, which is Luke chapter 8 verse 22 to 25. I'm gonna read the whole section to you real quick. Now it came to pass on a certain day that he went into a ship with his disciples, and he said unto them, Let us go over unto the other side of the lake. And they launched forth. But as they sailed, he fell asleep, and there came down a storm of wind on the lake, and they were filled with water, and they were in jeopardy. Look up the word jeopardy. And they came to him, and they awoke him, saying, Master, Master, we perish. Then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. And he said unto them, Where is your faith? And they were afraid. And they being afraid wondered, saying one to another, What manner of man is this? For he commandeth even the winds and water, and they obey him. Now, when we apply this to life, we go through situations, and if you want to be metaphoric, you can call those things, sometimes we say there's a season for this, a season for that. There's times when you're going through certain situations and it feels like you're in a storm. If you look at the situation that these guys were in, I'll break it down for you. Basically, the Lord said, listen, we're going to go from here, point A to point B, but in order for them to get to point B, they had to go over the sea, the ocean or whatever. And right here it says lake. But then a storm comes, all right? And this is what it says. It says right here, it describes it as the raging of the water. The raging of the water. If you look up the word rage, basically that's like an uncontrollable anger. Some people, when they go into a rage, afterwards, after the rage has passed, they sometimes don't even have a recollection of what happened before. Like, it's that serious. So now Jesus says, hey, let's go into the water, let's go across there. And when they go into the boat, he falls asleep. He's relaxed, he's chilling. So while he's sleeping now, the disciples are awake, they're chilling, they're on the boat, and a storm comes. It's not like just some light rain or whatever. This is a storm, all right? This is a scary situation. If you go over to Mark 4 says, it gives it in much more detail. But here in Luke 8, it says that they were filled with water. In Mark 4, it says that the seas like beat up against the boat, and the water filled the boat to the point where they were about to go under. You know what I'm saying? It got to the worst point. Now, mind you, the storm had been happening. There was a time that had to pass before the water actually filled the boat. But they waited until the water actually filled the boat, and then they went to Jesus and was like, yo, we're going to die. So, all right, this is the situation they're in. When Jesus woke up, the boat was filled. They were about to sink. And he got up and he just basically went outside and said, listen, look, man, chill. All right? And then he was speaking to the weather, if you'll have it. It says, then he arose and rebuked the wind and the raging of the water, and they ceased, and there was a calm. Look up the word. Look up the word calm. Now, if we skip over to Mark 4 real quick, I'll read the same story back to you, just so you could, it gives more detail. I actually like the way Mark tells this story. And the same day when the even was come, he saith unto them, Let us pass over unto the other side. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship. And Mark 4 says that there were other little ships that went out there with them. So it wasn't just them in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Now here's the thing. They're in the boat with the Lord. He's there. And they're telling him we're going to die. Think about that for a moment. I mean, in life, we go through problems. Get one thing in your mind. Get one thing straight. You're going to have problems. You're not going to live a life where there's no problems. There's no such thing as a life where you don't have any hurdles, any situations, things that look so bad that you feel like there's no way out. All right? Get it through your head. You're going to have problems. There will be problems. Or if you want to, if you look at this situation, we can call it a storm. In life, there will be storms. Sometimes there'll be light rain. Sometimes there'll be heavy rain. Sometimes there'll be hurricanes. It will happen. So now they're on the lake, ocean, sea, what have you. And it says, and he was in the hinder part of the ship asleep on a pillow. So the Lord was chilling. He was resting. All good. Wasn't worried about a thing. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship so that it was now full. You get the picture in your mind? This is not just some mild storm. Anyhow, and the Lord was asleep while this was happening. While this is happening, no one came and said, yo, listen, man, there's a storm coming. They didn't wake him up or anything like that. The storm actually came. The storm filled the ship. Then they went and hollered at him. How many of us do that today? We wait till things go real bad, then we want to go, oh, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus, Lord Jesus. Listen, man, sometimes you got to like really, when you see the storm coming, say something. Don't wait till things go bad and then be like, oh, Lord, why did you let this happen? No. He was there the whole time. They could have been went and said something to him, but they waited. And this is what they say to him. Check this out. They said, Master. They went and they woke him up and they say, Master. This is Mark 4, this is Mark chapter 4, verse 35 through 41. They say, Master, don't you care that we perish, that we're dying, we're gonna die? This is what they woke him up and said to him. And here I love this. It goes, and he arose and rebuked the wind and the sea, and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. Now, I once heard a minister preached on this story. And he said the way he told it was as if Jesus was telling peace itself to be still. Now, I don't want to speak against another man of God, but the way I'm receiving this today is not that he was telling peace to be still, but that he called peace into the situation. Like there was a storm. You understand what's happening? There was a great storm. But then he called peace into the situation. He said peace. He went out there and he said, whoa, peace. You know, if you run into somebody who's acting up, you might say, peace, it's peace, peace. He called it into the situation, okay? And then he said, be still, period. And here's what happens next. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Now, this is the part that really got me. And he said unto them, why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? Now, even I've asked this question before. Like, how is it that God is supposed to know everything, and then he asks us questions? I ponder this. Like, if you know everything, why even bother to ask? But came to the conclusion that the Lord doesn't ask questions that he doesn't already know the answer to. He asks questions. Sometimes it's to prove a point. A lot of times it's to prove a point. But in situations like this, it's a question that he wants you to ask yourself. Why are you so afraid? They're in the storm. You see, now think about it. This is a storm, a hurricane. Who wouldn't be afraid in a hurricane? But here's the difference. God was there with them. He was on the boat. In other words, you're not going through the storm by yourself, man. Why? If I'm here with you, why are you so afraid? The next question is a question that many of us need to ask ourselves. Even me. And I talk about faith a lot. But he said, how is it that you have no faith? And he asked them that. He didn't say, yo, do you have faith or nothing? He asked them because he knew. He said, you don't. Basically, this is a question that indicates that you don't have any faith. He said, why are you so afraid? How? How? If I'm here with you on the boat, I'm right here. How is it that you have no faith? How is it possible for me to be here with you, in the storm with you, You're not here alone. It's not like you're in the storm and I'm on another part, I'm in another land somewhere else, and you gotta call out to me. No. I'm here in the boat with you. I mean, if you're on land, of course you're gonna see the rains and you're gonna feel the winds and stuff like that. These dudes are in the water. They're in the water. They're on the boat. The boat is filled with water. It's about to sink. And he's like, yo, I've been here with you this whole time. Where? How is it that you don't have any faith? How? Answer me that. It goes on to say after that, and they feared exceedingly meaning that if you it continued, it was a continuation. Their fear didn't reach a limit. It continued, like they just grew more and more fearful. And they said to one another, what manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him? Again, understand this. You're going to come into situations. There's not one person watching this video right now that doesn't have even a small thing that they're dealing with, that they would like to get out of or get rid of or not have to deal with. Okay? Sometimes the situation is small, and that's, to someone else it may be small, but to the person going through it, it might be a big thing. Okay? A storm is a storm. Rain is rain. Nobody wants to get caught in it. Okay? And the thing is this, obviously you're going to go through this. It was his idea. It was the Lord's idea to go into the boat and cross over. Okay? He said, hey, let's go to the other side. Let's get in the boat and go over there. He said it was his idea. And then he got in the boat, relaxed, and went to sleep. They saw the storm coming. It's not like they didn't see the rain or they didn't feel the boat rocking back and forth. They knew it was coming, but they waited and they waited and they waited until the boat got filled. That's what it says here, filled. Look up the word filled. Then they went and woke him up. And he said, yo, how is it that you guys are afraid? Where? How is it that you don't have any faith? How? Ask yourself that question right now. If you're one of those people who are going through things and you're worried and you're wondering if this or that's going to work out, listen, man. And I know I spoke about faith before, but this is an important thing. It's not a joke. You know what I'm saying? You don't go through a storm and then wonder. All right? You're supposed to go through it and know, expect it. In 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 12, he says, dear friends, he says, don't be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come onto you to test you. It says to test you. All right? Look up the word test. It's a test. It's not something that you're not going to make it through, but you got to believe and you got to have faith, man. And he says, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Expect it. Expect the storm. If you're living a life where you've never had a storm, worry. And I'm not going to say worry. I shouldn't even say that, because worry is the enemy of God. Believe that. And take that with you when this video is done. Worry is the enemy of God. If you got God on the boat with you and you're going through a storm, I'm not even worried. I don't care how much water comes into the boat. You're straight. God is with you. I don't understand, man. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 12. Read it. He says, don't be surprised. Don't be like, huh, what is happening? Expect it. It's gonna go down. All right? You just have to have the faith to endure, because you're not alone. One set of footprints in the sand, and they're not yours. Believe that. Peace.